In the biblical context, the event of the Abomination of Desolation is a significant prophetic marker, foretold both in the book of Daniel and by Jesus in the Olivet Discourse Matthew 24:15-16. It refers to a future event where something detestable and sacrilegious will occur in the holy place, specifically the temple in Jerusalem, causing desolation and astonishment. This event holds profound implications, prompting Jesus to instruct those in Judea to flee to the mountains for refuge upon its occurrence. This is an event anticipated to take place in Israel during the last days, signifying a pivotal moment in eschatological prophecy. The book of Daniel provides foundational insights into the Abomination of Desolation, depicting it as a time of profound spiritual and physical turmoil. Jesus, in referencing Daniel's prophecy, affirms its significance in the unfolding of God's plan, providing clarity to his disciples regarding the signs preceding his return. While historical events like Antiochus IV's desecration of the temple in 167 BC may echo elements of Daniel's prophecy, the ultimate fulfillment is yet to come. Antiochus IV Epiphanes, a Seleucid king ruling over Judea in the 2nd century BCE, perpetrated heinous acts against the Jewish people, including slaughtering many, selling others into slavery, and issuing decrees to suppress Jewish religious practices such as circumcision and enforcing the consumption of unclean meat and pagan sacrifices. While his actions were despicable, they only partially fulfilled the prophecy outlined in the book of Daniel. Daniel's prophecy foretold a covenant made with Israel for 7 years, a covenant that Antiochus did not enact. Moreover, Jesus, in Matthew 24, spoke of Daniel's prophecy as having a future fulfillment, even though Antiochus had already committed his atrocities 2 centuries prior. This prophecy, known as the Abomination of Desolation, is anticipated to occur during the end times, involving the rise of the Antichrist, who will betray a covenant with Israel and defile the temple, akin to Antiochus' sacrilege. The concept of the Antichrist is multifaceted in biblical teachings. It encompasses not only a specific individual, but also a pervasive spirit of opposition to Christ and his teachings. John's epistles discuss both the spirit of the Antichrist, which has manifested throughout history in various individuals and ideologies, and the ultimate Antichrist figure who will emerge in the end times. This Antichrist, often depicted as a deceptive figure with charisma and charm, will lead humanity astray, promoting falsehoods and rebellion against God. While Jesus embodied truth and righteousness, the Antichrist will embody deceit and darkness, presenting himself as a counterfeit Messiah. The prophesied events leading up to the end of days are deeply embedded in biblical teachings, particularly in the writings of John and Revelation. It's foretold that before the day of the Lord arrives, there will be a significant rebellion against God, unveiling the figure of the man of lawlessness. In Revelation, John's vision unveils the beast rising from the sea, a symbolic representation of a powerful figure empowered by Satan himself. This beast, adorned with blasphemous names and bearing characteristics akin to fierce animals, embodies the epitome of evil and tyranny. Thus, the biblical narrative paints a vivid picture of the escalating spiritual battle against the forces of darkness as the world hurtles towards its ultimate reckoning. During his time on earth, Jesus prayed to God, expressing his protection over his disciples, except for Judas, who was destined for destruction as prophesied in John 17:12. This verse resonates with biblical references to the Antichrist, particularly in Revelation. The Antichrist is depicted as a figure who mimics Jesus in his death and resurrection, gaining fame and authority through a seemingly miraculous recovery from a mortal wound, much like the beast in Revelation 13:3. This recovery enhances the Antichrist's influence, leading the world to marvel and follow him, as detailed in Revelation 13:12 and 13:14. The Antichrist, this individual, empowered to act for a limited time of 42 months, deceives people with miraculous signs and wonders, as outlined in Revelation 13:13-15. The false prophet, another significant figure in Revelation, aids the Antichrist by performing impressive miracles, including giving life to an image of the beast, demanding worship under the threat of death. The concept of the image of the beast is a mysterious and ominous element in biblical prophecy, particularly in the book of Revelation. While many details are provided about the image and its role, there's ambiguity about its exact nature. According to Revelation, the false prophet will have the power to animate or give breath to the image of the first beast, allowing it to speak. Those who refuse to worship the image of the beast will face the wrath of the Antichrist, while those who do will ultimately face God's wrath, as depicted in Revelation 14:9-11. However, there is hope for those who remain faithful to God and refuse to bow to the Antichrist. Revelation 15:2-3 portrays a scene of victory in heaven for those who overcome the beast and his image, singing praises to God. Those who are deeply rooted in their faith and attuned to the guidance of God's Spirit will discern the signs of the times and understand the urgency of the events unfolding. In the book of Revelation, particularly in chapter 12, verses 11-17, it is foretold that amidst the chaos and tribulations, God's people will be divided. Some may face martyrdom, while others will be protected. This dichotomy symbolizes the spiritual warfare and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. The ominous concept of the mark of the beast, as depicted in Revelation, signifies a pivotal moment of allegiance and economic control. Without it, individuals are excluded from basic transactions. The enigmatic number 666, often associated with the mark, serves as a symbolic representation of imperfection and falls short of divine completeness. It's a warning against putting faith in worldly powers and serves as a call to discernment for believers. Various figures throughout history, including Napoleon, Mussolini, and Stalin, have been proposed as candidates for the Antichrist, a figure often associated with the book of Revelation in the Bible. The concept of the mark linked to the Antichrist has garnered speculation, with the term mark lacking a specific biblical definition apart from its connection to the beast in Revelation. The significance of the third temple in biblical prophecy is a topic of interest and debate among scholars and enthusiasts. Following the destruction of the second temple in 70 AD, there has been speculation about the rebuilding of the third temple, particularly in relation to end-time events. The third temple holds immense importance in both biblical history and prophecy, symbolizing the restoration of worship and fulfillment of certain prophecies. To comprehend the significance of the third temple, it's essential to delve into the history of its predecessors, the tabernacle and Solomon's temple. Solomon's temple, also known as the House of the Lord, was a central place of worship in ancient Israel until its destruction by the Babylonians in 586 BC. In the passage describing the gathering of the people in Jerusalem, there's a profound sense of unity and purpose as they come together to re-establish their worship practices. This event aligns with the biblical narrative of the Israelites returning to Jerusalem after the exile. They rebuild the altar according to the law of Moses, emphasizing their commitment to God's commandments. The Feast of Booths, also known as Sukkot, is celebrated with fervor, signifying a reconnection to their heritage and faith. The reference to Ezekiel's vision adds depth to the narrative, offering a glimpse into the prophetic perspective during a time of uncertainty and upheaval. Ezekiel's vision of the Grand Temple serves as a symbol of hope and restoration for the Israelites. Despite the destruction of Jerusalem and the Temple, Ezekiel assures the people of God's promise to dwell among them once again. In Ezekiel's vision of the Temple, he is transported to Israel, where he encounters a mountain and a city. As he approaches, he sees a man with the appearance of bronze standing in the gateway, holding a linen cord and a measuring rod. This man instructs Ezekiel to pay close attention to everything he witnesses and hears, emphasizing the importance of communicating these details to God's people. The prophecy of Ezekiel's temple is a topic of interpretation among scholars and theologians. Some argue for its literal fulfillment, pointing to the intricate details described in the vision and the specific measurements of the temple. However, if taken literally, its fulfillment must be in the future, as nothing resembling the temple described in Ezekiel chapters 40 to 48 has been built. Moreover, the temple dimensions outlined in Ezekiel surpass the grand temple that existed in Jesus' time. Those who anticipate its literal fulfillment often expect it to be built during the millennial kingdom, a period of Christ's reign on earth for 1,000 years. In the New Testament, particularly in the writings of Paul, the concept of a spiritual temple is emphasized, with believers being likened to living stones being built into a spiritual house. This spiritual temple construction is already underway, signifying the ongoing work of God in uniting His people and dwelling among them. While the construction of a physical temple during the millennium is anticipated, whether the Jews will erect another physical temple before the return of Jesus Christ remains uncertain.
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.